Okay, there's a bit of B flat minor pentatonic scale. You can rock around that all day long to your heart's content. Okay, forever and ever and ever. So, yes, I've practiced B flat minor pentatonic quite a lot over the years. But some of that stuff, check out the patterns, get as many patterns as you can. Skipping notes, jumping notes, up and down the horn, build it up faster, slower, get it in tune, use the false positions, all that good stuff. Okay. Now what happens is, I find myself, if I'm playing on a funk groove or something like that, I find myself getting into that zone and sort of not being able to get out of it. Everything's sounding great. I'm having a good time. I'm improvising. Patterns are coming out. I'm hearing things that are all based on that. It's so inside. It works. It sounds great. And I find myself struggling to sort of get out of that sound as well. Okay, so once you've got into it, then you've got to learn how to get out of it. So I talked about on my masterclass that's on YouTube, it's free on YouTube. Find yourself an extra 45 minutes and sit down, put some headphones on and listen to me talk about some more sort of advanced concepts, some things that I try and tell myself, give myself new ideas of what I can do in solos and how, I guess, how my brain works. No one wants to know how my brain works, but how my brain works in order to sort of get myself out of these situations and play better solos or get myself into situations. So I mentioned in the masterclass about adding chromaticism. Now on some other videos, I've talked about bebop scales, which help add chromaticism in there. I've also talked about enclosure, which adds chromaticism. Check out those because I'm going to sort of go the next step further with them. Now then, before I start adding chromaticism to the pentatonic scale, let me throw this out at you. We find our patterns, whatever they could be. If I find a pattern that's descending, that sounds great, I will always play ascending as well. And it's harder ascending, it's harder. But if you watch the masterclass, that'll tell you why I like ascending lines. They're harder. So if I work out a lick and I think, oh yeah, that's great, that's descending. Right? I'll also do it ascending. Right? Yeah, do you see what I mean? So I will always, if I find something hip and I'm like, oh man, I love that, and it's descending, I think, oh, that's descending. Try and work it out so that you can go ascending with it as well. Okay, here's something to throw out at you. Enclosure, enclose certain notes, which basically means here's your note and I'm going to play around it and then hit it, right? I'm enclosing that one particular note. So the better you get at this, you can just be thinking about that one particular note, but your line's actually going around it and then hitting it. You can do that with a pentatonic scale. So I'm not using chromaticism at the moment. I'm just using those notes. So for instance, if B flat is our note that we're going for, right? I will go. So I'm I'm enclosing using the pentatonic scale. So in this case, D flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, B flat. So I'm enclosing B flat, but I'm using the notes of the pentatonic scale. Now you can do that on all of them. Some of them are hip, some of them are harder, some of them have got bigger intervals. But I quite like the fourthy intervals. That's what makes them sound hip, I think, and great for your flexibility. You know, great for your flexibility, jumping around all these sort of intervals. And if you find that you're playing a bit too scalic, you know, you're finding these angles, and I think this is a great way of sort of opening yourself out. So what's that? I'm going E flat F, B flat, E flat, down to D flat. And again, I mean, that one, I'll probably do Fs in fourth. Yeah. A flat, B flat, E flat, A flat, F. So I'm enclosing F. Yeah? Have a play around with that. Have a play around with that. It's hot outside. I've got a sweat on. Don't worry about it, and I won't. So, okay. Next thing is, let's start adding some chromaticism into the B flat minor pentatonic. Now, maybe I should say, I think you all know this. Hopefully, you all know this. There's a minor pentatonic scale and there's a major pentatonic scale, and it's the same notes, you just think of it of a different way. So this is D flat major pentatonic, and it's 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6 in D flat major. Right? Or you could think of it as the relative minor, which is B flat minor pentatonic. It's the same thing, it's just however you're thinking about it. It doesn't matter. And I don't really care how you think about it, as long as you play the right notes. So yeah. If you're blowing on a minor thing, you could be thinking B flat minor. If you're blowing on a major thing, maybe you're thinking D flat major. That's totally up to you. Okay. So all this is between the notes of the pentatonic scale, I'm going to add chromaticism. Okay. So between the notes of the pentatonic scale, I'm going to add some chromatic passing notes. Now then, for me, each chromatic note that I play sort of opens up a whole other world for me. That's, again, giving me more ideas, and the fact that, oh wow, I'm learning how to play an E natural, you know, on the top of a B flat minor groove thing, right? So I'm learning how to use that sound as of an E natural, and maybe we'll start there. So between E flat and F, let's add that E natural in there. Now then, I think the thing that will come to your mind there is obviously that's the blues scale. That's the blues scale that we were all taught when we first learnt to improvise. So how do we use that E natural? How do we think about it? Well, there's lots of ways to think about it. For me, I can think of it as bluesy. Okay, I'm thinking bluesy. Yeah, I find that E natural will either resolve up to the F, or it'll resolve down to the E flat, to the fourth. Yeah, that's resolving down to the fourth. I'll now go up to the fifth. Yeah. I'm resolving up. Now, another way of thinking about that, again, is if we're on B flat minor, the 5 chord of B flat minor, so if B flat minor is 1, the 5 chord is F7, right? And when we're playing F7 bebop scale, which are on the other videos, I've got the chromatic note between the E flat and the F. So you could therefore start thinking about that you're playing a bit more of a 5 chord. And yeah, you might want to, you might want to flatten that D natural. So how would I practice that? I would try and play the 1 chord for a bar, and then the 5 chord, and then the 1 chord, and then the 5 chord. Let me try and demonstrate. Let me establish it for you. Okay, there, natural 9. Ah! Because it's going to a minor key, it might be nice to do that flat 9. Putting sort of 5 altered. So now you could start playing the altered scale, F7 altered scale, but put the chromatic note between the F and the E flat. So we're adding this chromaticism in simply between the F and the E flat. We can get a bluesy sound. We can get more of a dominant sound. Play around with it. Someone told me, I don't know if I've ever tried this, go up the pentatonic and down the blues scale. Okay, I don't know who told me that. I mean, yeah, that sounds pretty good. I quite like that. I don't see why you can't go up the blues scale. Play around with it. But again, that's good practice. Going up one, going up the normal pentatonic, coming down the blues scale to get some lines in. Okay, let's move on. What's the next one? What's another obvious one? Is going from the B flat to the A flat. So I'm introducing that A natural. Now again, because I've just talked about the 5 chord, that A natural really sounds like a 5 chord, 5-1, that wants to resolve. It wants to resolve back up to the B flat. So introducing that A natural is sort of implying a 5 chord. Or you could simply just think of it as a passing. So again, another thing of they all lead on, don't they? Everything leads on for me. But B flat 7 bebop scale has a passing note between the B flat and the A flat. If you were playing B flat minor, obviously you just flatten the third. Sounds great. So now you could start thinking that you're sort of bombing around B flat, B flat minor 7, but you're just introducing that chromatic note, the A natural there. Now, how would I practice that? I would start my phrase with it. Yeah? And then try and improvise into it, the same as what you would do with your vocab and your language. You've got your lick, if you like, you're improvising into it, play the lick, improvising out of it, and trying to make it sound not foreign. You know, let's try and make the lick, let's try and make the passage smooth and feel right. But we're drumming it in. We're drumming that feeling of playing an A natural in there. So now, look, let's mix the two up. I mean, how many times have we heard that? And yeah, in this key, it's not that hard, is it, on trombone, that? Again, go slowly. Even now I'm sort of going too fast. Go slowly to give your brain time to think about it. And do it in tempo. Always play everything in a groove, in a tempo, whatever, swung, whatever you want, but always do it in tempo. Maybe with a metronome could be good. I think the thing with a metronome is start it slow. It's sort of like going to the gym, is that you start running at a certain speed and then each week you can see yourself getting faster and faster and better. I find that with a metronome, I set it on a low tempo, gradually speed it up, and actually it makes you feel good. It makes you feel good that you're actually learning things, achieving goals, and you want to carry on. So I think that's good for a metronome. Anyway. I mean, even that, like, just come up with a line. That's our lick. We've just invented our own lick, our own language. I'm now playing the lick and I'm improvising out of it. I'm playing the lick, improvising out of it. Try and lead into the lick. Yeah? So I'm trying to just integrate those two chromatic approaches between the pentatonics. So in some ways, I'm still thinking pentatonic scale. I'm just doing these passing notes. What's another one? Okay, we've obviously got one between the E flat and the D flat. Now, for me, the E flat is basically, it's screaming to me E flat 7 bebop scale. Isn't it? That's where the chromatic note goes. And obviously, what we're doing is B flat minor, we're sort of treating this now as more like a 2 chord. B flat minor goes to E flat 7, 2, 5. B flat minor, E flat 7, B flat minor, E flat 7. So this, for me, this sound actually starts introducing more sort of bebop language in my head if I start doing that. Although I'm in pentatonic world, and let's call it hip language, fourthy language, modal language, that adding that D natural and that passing note, suddenly I start feeling a bit more bebop. So get all your bebop licks out. Classic on trombone, I say this to all my students, once you're feeling comfortable in one register, put it in another register. And that might be higher and it might be lower. And don't avoid the low stuff. Don't avoid the low stuff. The low stuff's hard. But get that tongue working down there. Try and get it clean. Keep your sound nice and open. So, well, I'll teach you that. It's sort of a bebop lick. But what have I done? I've started playing a C natural. Which of course is allowed. It is allowed. We're letting ourselves find all these other notes that are adding to our pentatonic mind. If we're in that world, pentatonic world, we're learning other notes. Let's mix those two things up. What did I just do then? I did the enclosure, which we did earlier. I mean, and now I've got the chromatic passing note between the F and the E flat. And now I've got the chromatic passing note between the E flat and the D flat, which is a full chromatic scale down now. Play that 20 times. Yeah? Do you see what I'm doing? I'm gradually building this chromaticism into my lines, into my pentatonic scale. That's just the pentatonic. That was the first one between the D flat and the E flat. I'm working it. Funnily enough, maybe what came to my mind then, I'm playing D naturals. I'm giving that sort of funky, I'm starting playing a major third on a minor chord. Which is another lesson. I think I did it. Yeah, that's another funky little sound, which is basically sort of making it sound like a B flat, yeah, sharp 9 sound. There's lots of different ways, but again, all these little chromatic notes just started opening up whole palettes of sound and whole new ideas, you know. So then you can rock around to your heart's content. And yeah, just play B flat minor pentatonic. Just play that. Just play this one key. Just play this one key. Don't worry about the other keys. You're going to be playing B flat minor pentatonic all of your life, you know, all of your life. Get it down. Spend a month on it. Spend a year on it. Spend a year on it. And then, once you feel comfortable, you've got it in your ear, then start moving on to other keys, and the chromaticism, I'll do some more, but the chromaticism will really start opening up and help you lead on through into different keys. You can chromatically approach new keys, etc., etc. Okay, that's a bit of an insight into B flat minor pentatonic. Check out all the other videos, subscribe, join my Patreon site. We've got loads and loads of Patreons now, which is absolutely fantastic. I teach them Zoom lessons from all over the world. Even if it's a one-off lesson, just come on and we'll solve all the world's trombone problems in one. Okay, nice one. Speak to you in a bit.